Welcome back to the Jurassic Park Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Jost, and today we're going to wrap things up with part 3 of my conversation with Stephen Ray Morris from See Jurassic Right, another awesome Jurassic podcast. Again, if you have not checked that one out, please go download it. I'm putting the links all over the place. Please download this podcast episode on your favorite podcast platforms so you can listen to the whole thing. And in this episode, part 3, the finale of this series, we talk about the different generations of fandoms. What did generations of the past do? What is our generations doing now? What matters in between all of that? We talk about like how we were influenced to become super fans and fans of Jurassic Park. So there's a lot to kind of dive into there, and we also talk about what figures and things are we missing in our massive collections that we have here. What is missing from there? There's a lot specifically. So please tune in and maybe you'll find an answer as to when and how we'll get some things. There's some fun stuff in this one. So please don't miss this finale episode with Stephen Ray Morris from See Jurassic Right. This is the last one for this part, but next week we have some more content coming your way. So please stay tuned for that. Find it on the podcast feeds. Find it here. And we'll post it over on YouTube and everywhere else. So please take a listen, take a watch, and enjoy. But for now, let's finish this conversation with Stephen Ray Morris from See Jurassic Right.
I think a lot of this stuff that we've been talking about today or tonight, as it's dark now, or at least it's dark where it was dark where you were already.
Oh, it's been dark, yeah.
I think we're the first generation to really, I don't know if it's a problem, but it's just like, our parents, like, unless your parents were Trekkies, which I think our parents are probably even too old for that. No, because Star Trek was in the 60s, so I guess if they had like gotten really into it as a kid. But like generally this level of adoration, and like, because it's like there's no such thing as being an adult, and it's like everyone's just playing, we're all just like three squirrels in a suit or whatever. Yeah. And it's just like, so I think we're the first generation to really, again, unless your parents were Trekkies, I think, because those were kind of the first real nerds, I feel like, but as far as, well, and like Lord of the Rings, like when it was the book, because I remember my dad, he graduated high school in 1977 and then, went to college in 1977 or 1978 or whatever. And he's like, I've read Lord of the Rings like twice, like and he just took a Tolkien class or whatever. And then he goes in there and it's like, everybody's read the book like 15 times, and he's just like, oh, geez. I think our generation is the first generation to really be like, screw, like, when you're an adult, you have to put away your toys or whatever. Like, it's all nonsense. Like, it's just, and I feel very sad for people who, because I know people like this, and I know Jurassic Park fans like this who are like, I'm like, like here's our heroes and stuff, and it's like, oh no, I can't, obviously financial things notwithstanding, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about literally there's like an attitude in the back of their head that says like, oh, that'd be fun for my nephew or my niece or whatever, and it's like, no, there's no reason why we like. It doesn't make us any more adults. We pay our bills. We have jobs. Like, like we go to therapy. Like, do you know what I mean? Like we eat every day or whatever, whatever. It's like, I know, you know what I mean? It's like, mm-hmm. I feel very sad for people who think that they can't indulge in this thing. I mean, obviously, like, have I indulged too much? Sure. Why not? But like, did I cry while watching the Beanie Baby documentary?
Oh, yeah.
Remains to be seen, or not remains to be seen, because I definitely did. But, I just, I don't even know where I was going with that point. I think that's so lovely that your son is, that it's like carrying the torch, but that also like that we can keep in touch with our childhood selves in that way. Or just even like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, but I would say I'm probably a bigger Jurassic Park fan than I've ever been. I mean, obviously nothing can really replicate, again, we're just chasing that high or whatever, but it's like, I am very appreciative of the friends I've made, the journey. There's something so, like, we were just at the beginning, it's like watching the movie again and discovering new things. It's like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, I don't like, again, like, as we're all approaching our 40s, except for Tom. I'm gonna
Yeah,
drink his
Tom,
blood
come
so I
on.
can remain youthful. Love you, Tom. But like, it's I mean, I'm just seeing our generation really like grapple with their mortality in the same way that our parents did probably like 10-15 years ago, or not 10 years ago, like 20-30 years ago or whatever. And it's just sort of like, I don't know, if I can hold on to a few things that, like, I don't know, still bring me joy, I think that's kind of why rob yourself of that. I mean,
Oh
clearly we're
yeah.
not robbing ourselves of that. We're surrounded by
Nope.
toys.
Surrounded by them. Yeah, it's pretty wild, like, yeah, I don't think my parents were like, fanboying out about really anything. Like, maybe like a musician or a band or something like that at the time. I don't know. Like, of course, my mom did read Jurassic Park, and that's like my
Yeah, my
first
mom too.
introduction. But like, I can't say like my mom was like obsessed with Michael Crichton or dinosaurs or anything like that. So like, it is interesting how we all got to this point, where
Yeah.
where like we need to have all these collections. And I don't know, I think about it a lot. I'm like, is the world like worse now than it was? Like, and I'm like, do we need these things to like make
Sure.
us happy? Like, I have no idea what the reasoning is, but like, but yeah, like every now and then I'm like, oh, what have I done? But then also
No,
I'm
I mean,
like, yeah, I love these things. Like, what am I gonna? I can't stop. Like, I just, they're awesome. So like,
you know,
I'm passing that on to my kid. And the other day, I don't even know why he said it, but like, my son said, "Dad, I don't have to like everything you like." And I was like,
oh my god.
I don't even know why he said
And the
it. I don't
cat's
even
in
know.
the cradle and the silver spoon, little
And
boy blue and the man in the moon.
I'm like, dude, you do like everything I like. And I don't push it on you, but like, he likes it. I'm like, oh, so you don't like, and I'm like, I start listing things. I'm like, all right, so you don't like video games? And he's like, well, and I'm like, all right, so you don't like, dinosaurs or whatever. And I just started listing things, and he's like, okay, I do like all those things. And I'm like, yeah, like I don't know, it's not, I didn't push it on you. Like, you decided on your own somehow. Yeah, I guess based off of things we put on TV or bought them for, birthdays or whatever. But like, yeah, it's all weird, like how we all get to this point, and like how some are just like, yeah, that's a cool kids thing or whatever. But like, we go to Target and we're like, where are the dinosaur toys at? Like, I gotta see them sweet dinosaur toys.
I don't think I've
It's
ever not gone to Target and swung by that section. Even if I don't buy something every time, I definitely
Yep.
have to swing by.
I know. I'm like, I'm gonna run in real quick, and I'm like, but I also got to sprint to the back as fast as possible just to glance, even if I'm like not there for that. I gotta take a look.
I even like, even when I go on the Jurassic Park ride at Universal Studios, I'm like, oh, look over by the toys in the store, even though, like, the figures are like twice the price as they are at, Target or
Oh,
anywhere else.
it's so wild to me. Like, there's a few Snap Squad figures that are still in Universal, and I'm like, I don't have those Snap Squad. And I'm fidgeting with this thing like all night.
Oh, and I've
Like
been
every
fidgeting
time
with
I record.
20 things.
Like, but like, I love the Snap Squad figures, but like, I'm not paying, you know, I don't know what it is, $25 for like a Snap Squad figure, which should be like $4.99 or something. So those prices are absolutely wild um, in Universal. But like you said, I can't help but like go in there. I'm gonna go film a little video and look at the toys and look at the merchandise, and I just can't help it. Like, I love seeing what they have available in those parks and in Target or wherever. Like, it's all too good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's like, I really, I mean, again, it's just about the ways that we engage with this stuff. We're like, we know plenty of people who are completionists, but
Yeah.
and in a way, what I really admire about completionists, or at least some of the completionists we know, is that the joy is in finding the stuff, completing the set, and then maybe eventually being like, "Oh, I don't need this set anymore." Like, the joy was in the hunt and the completing, And then they
Yeah.
eventually are like, let me just sell off this whole thing. Whereas like, I'm not somebody who can like, I can get rid of stuff, but like, I'm not somebody who's very good at like replacing, trading, whatever. Because so it's like, so I'm not a completionist. And especially lately, I'm very much a person who's like, I like, here's my favorite Pokemon, Ampharos, and it's like, I want a bunch of Ampharos stuff, where it's like, I'm not going to get all of the 900 Pokemon, but like, I'll get all the Ampharos
Yeah.
stuff. Like, I want every Kayla Watts thing. You know what I mean? Like, I want every Claire thing. Do I need Owens? I have an Owen because I like the rodeo Owen.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Ronio, but overall, it's like there's like a few things. It's like I love Parasaurolophus because that's one of my favorite dinosaurs. So it's like that's how I negotiate with my form of collecting. I don't like to spend like a lot of money on statuettes or anything like that. So it's like, I think as long as we're, again, it's not an addiction. It's just like this is how we find joy, Marie Kondo being, like what sparks joy. I'm like, but this all does spark joy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
It may be sitting there unopened on my floor, but like, I love it. I gotta say, it's pretty great.
Like, I love this. I love this sauropod. Slag. No, I think slag was changed because I think that was like seen as inappropriate. I don't even know the name of this Dinobot because this was kind of like because it was the Triceratops, the Stegosaurus, the pterodactyl, and obviously the T-Rex. And then I feel like this was kind of the least of the Dinobots, but like, it's so funny because like I haven't transformed this out of the Diplodocus or Brontosaurus version of it or Apatosaurus version of it since I got it. I'm literally just like, I kind of just love it in this form.
Yeah.
Although I am somebody where I'm like, I don't understand why you would buy a Transformers toy if it didn't transform. I'm like, who is that for? You know what I mean?
I mean, like, I have those the original two like Jurassic Transformer ones that they came out with like a few years ago.
Oh yeah, me too.
They are so difficult. Like I'm like, my one day my son was like, Dad, can you transform him? I'm like, I don't know if I can. Like, this is very difficult for me. So yeah, and those little, I'm like a person who bought those little metal, what are they called? Metal Earth?
The die cast?
Like, the little metal things that you like pin, they take them apart and you put them together. They sell them at like Universal and places like that. And it's just like a little metal thing that you just poke out and then put it together and it creates like a little diorama or something. I take it out and I'm like, this is going great. Oh, I messed up. I'm just smashing it. I have no patience for those things. So like putting together those Transformers, I was like, it's going to stay a T-Rex forever now. It's not going to ever transform back to whatever the other one is.
Both of them are in robot form right now. I keep them in my kitchen. I have like I literally have a kitchen, like a kitchenette, like where you put your coffee cups. It's sort of the sort of, I call it the swag corner, where it's like, if I've been sent anything, from like wherever, like I have a Miss Minutes clock. And again, I have those Hasbro Transformers, those Jurassic Transformers toys. Like, they're just hanging out in my kitchen when I do my dishes, like, I love it. I think it's all just down to, we're all just trying to figure out, again, I mean, it really didn't hit me until we were talking. It's like, oh yeah, we're the first generation who's like actively choosing to be like, oh yeah, we don't have to get rid of all the things. And I mean, overall, I would say more than our parents. Because again, like you were saying before, it's like your mom read Jurassic Park. My mom read Jurassic Park. My mom is a huge Steven Spielberg fan. She's a big reason why I love Steven Spielberg. And it was a huge Jaws and especially Close Encounters. I mean, I remember when my mom at some point during Lost was like so obsessed with Lost, got into going on message boards and posting theories. Like, so it's like, I mean, it's not that people didn't do that before. It's just, it was a lot less socially acceptable.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I thinking about it recently, like my dad, had a collection of Volkswagens. Like he's a huge
Really?
fan of like Volkswagen Bugs and stuff like that. And he had a cabinet in our basement. And I didn't it didn't dawn on me until recently that like I was like, oh, he's collecting. Like that was he was a collector. He had this big cabinet of just different
Wow.
Volkswagens that he
I
collected
love that.
and like and it just dawned on me one time. I'm like, okay, wait, maybe that does equate to something, but like,
Oh yeah, for
so
sure.
and obviously, like, they introduced me to movies and like, I guess made me watch Back to the Future. Basically when I was born, and like, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and like Indiana Jones, and like I just saw the latest Indiana Jones with my mom. Like, I went to
Oh, I
go
love that.
take her to see that, and like yeah, like, so it did yeah, I guess it, like, the influences are there, but it's like they were never like what you see behind me. It's like they didn't
Yeah.
have this stuff to show their love of whatever the thing was, so we're the ones, like, bringing that out, my son watches these YouTube videos, and, we don't really watch YouTube with them all that much, but, like, I'll sit there and I'll watch this one channel with them, and they had this Rex for sale, and so I bought it, and like, and it just showed up the other day, and he opened it. He was so excited that this Rex came, and like he's like, I'm gonna go put it on my shelf, and I was like, yeah, you're putting that on your shelf. Like like he knew. I was so impressed that like in my mind, I was like, yeah, this is a collectible, like, or something. Like in my mind, it was, but I expected him to take it out and smash it and throw it and play with it. But he's like, I'm gonna go put this on my shelf, and I was like, oh, you know the difference now. Like like you can understand what is collecting, what is not. It's really interesting to see that shift and transform into something.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Wow. On to the next generation. I say as I've been playing with this adult Ellie figure the whole time. You know that when I got that set, because it was that crazy set where it was like you just basically had to rebuy the three big creatures.
Yeah,
Although
yeah.
I got it on sale though. I got it on sale for like half price, which was nice.
I love how
But
you have to justify it. You're like, I didn't spend
yeah,
over
I know.
100,000. Like, I
Yeah,
swear,
we're still there's still a little bit of that in our heads of like maybe this isn't the best thing. But you know what? It's so funny though, because when I got it, I was like, well, I already have the three other things, so I literally just cut a hole where Ellie was to pull her out, and so the rest of the box is unopened because I'm just
Oh,
like,
that's
I don't need to
amazing.
open the other thing.
Poke
Like
the glass at you. That's too
yeah,
funny.
no, I literally just pulled her out, and then I believe I got the tasers from Claire and Deitch and Lockman's character.
Oh, Sayona Santos.
Yeah, Senator Santos. But also, that's the other thing that, like, again, like as a kid, the fact that I was able to, within that first or second wave of Dominion figures, able to recreate the fight scene that they have in Dominion. Like, I got the I have Claire,
Yeah.
I have Senator Santos, I have the taser and the knife. And I even have like the Atrociraptors, like all watching them fight, like that's so cool. Like the fact that Dominion, like to me, the one really impressive thing about the Dominion toy line was that we were able to recreate so many scenes from the movie instantly, which was like really
Mhm.
cool. Because like, I actually recently just bought it, but the Lego, I haven't really been a big fan of the Jurassic Lego overall,
Same.
but I got that Brachiosaurus set because it was like, here's everything. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I get,
Yeah.
Alan and Ellie and Hammond and the Jeep and the tree and the Brachiosaurus, like boom. And it's like, now we can do that with the Jurassic figures too. We can literally recreate that scene, which is just,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's magic to me. That's the magic that I'm getting these days from this stuff is like, and that's the thing, like I really want to work on like a really cool, because I think about your setup or like Caleb's setup, or where it's just,
Yeah.
I really want to like, and now that we have the ability to, it's like kind of almost have dioramas of like, here's the Dominion portion, here's the
Yep.
I, I,
Yeah, I feel bad. I recently took down my Dominion. Like it was like right here, this was all Dominion stuff, and I swapped it out for Indiana Jones because they started coming out with like the 6-inch figures for Indiana Jones. I was like, all right, Dominion, I'm gonna have to put all the, because it was a mix of like humans and some of the smaller dinosaurs. Therizinosaurus might have been in there, but like I put the humans all, I mixed them all. Now every human is over there except for the Hammond collection.
Yeah.
They're right there. But like, yeah, I feel bad. I had to switch out.
Well, see, I like having like I want to have like a collectible of the month shelf where it's
Okay,
like
yeah.
specifically that shelf is like I used to have it at my old place where it was just like a little portion where I just got to swap in like, you know, like my, the Megazord, like the newer
Ooh.
Megazord, or even right now I kind of have it above my desk, but like even right now I have the sticker is so annoying, but like I have the Margot Robbie Barbie, where it's just
Oh,
like
nice.
you. I mean, why did they
Oh
put the
yeah, what
sticker
the
right there?
heck? Why is the
So
sticker
I have
there?
to figure out I have to get rid of that. But like,
Oh no. That's an
but
awesome box though.
I know, right? That's what I was saying. I was talking to, again, Corey and I were talking about at Comic-Con because they had a lot of like at the Hasbro booth, they had like a little almost like a museum section of like the original Beast Wars toys. And I think that's the thing of like at some point I don't even know if I need the toys. I just want the boxes
Yeah.
because that captured our imagination as much as anything else. And you know what I
Yeah.
would kill for when we think about the back card of an action figure and it
Yeah.
shows you the kind of like whether it's like they're all kind of in a lineup or like however maybe there's a little diorama-ish situation going on, I would kill for somebody to do posters of those.
Hey, Ted
Like if
Brothers,
you
what do you like? Come on, you got to make the
like
posters.
like imagine if you could do like an 11 by 17 of like all the back cards like Kenner, the wave 1, wave 2.
Yeah.
Like I would buy like a huge post, like anything, because I recently just got this great piece of art that reminds me a lot of like science classroom stuff, again, just stuff from our youth, but it's just like a project I haven't finished yet, but I was starting during lockdown a little bit. Was I never had the Lost World trailer either as a kid, so I bought like a really bare bones of the 2 trailers on eBay. I got a really beat up box from somewhere else. And then now I've slowly just been like, anytime I go to like Frankensons or other like nerd places, like I'll keep an eye out for pieces from the trailer. So
Yeah.
it's like a little project because again, it's like I I mean, I don't know if I would throw like it would be so expensive to throw down for. I don't even know if one of
Yeah.
those exists in the original box, but like I love making it into a little project,
Mhm.
And like
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you finished that thought.
Well, I was just gonna say, and also like every so often I'll bring out more of my original Jurassic Park toys from my dad's attic.
Yeah.
And it's a little heartbreaking because they're covered in like red marker for blood and
Uh,
all the pieces are missing and the hands are smashed up. But it's like
yeah.
I did bring out the command center and I like cleaned it up and I brought the gates and like I'm like, oh, that would make the diorama situation like interesting and fun and like more playful, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, since you said that, like, it's interesting. My son the other day was doing that. He made Jurassic Park out in our basement here, and he was playing with the Hasbro Indominus Rex, right? And the Hasbro stuff was nothing to really write
Yeah.
home about. It was nothing, great. But like the Indominus Rex is okay. It's okay. It's not what the new ones are. The new ones are spectacular, but like it was okay for the time.
It was definitely the
And
best of all the figures. That and the
yeah,
Dilophosaurus.
and the foot fell off when he was playing with it.
Oh no.
And he was like he was upset. He's like, "Dad, I'm sorry. Can we
Aw.
fix this?" And I'm like, "Hey man, it's all good, dude. It's all good." And that's when I brought him in here and I picked up my Red Rex, which is right here, and I just showed him. Like I'm like, "Look at this thing. Like this face has some white marker on it of some sort. The underside is missing the speaker cover thing. The leg is literally torn open, and it's got epoxy
Yeah.
stuck in it with a screw up there because like my dad apparently just epoxied it and screwed it together, and then was like, "That's it. That's your toy." And like for many years, it was missing arms until Ted Brothers helped me out with that. So like I'm like, "Hey man, don't worry about it. It's just part of the story." Like this.
Yeah.
All you're doing is creating a story. Like in your figures with your red marker on there. It's like it's all part of that story, and like you
Yeah.
won't forget what happened with those toys. And yes, you can fix them up along the way and whatever, but like it's all just part of the story, and it's not a bad thing when like something happens to it. It's not the end of the world.
No, that's a great thing to keep in mind. Yeah, especially because we are keep one in the box culture. But and I mean, this just made me think really quickly. I'm surprised they haven't done more Jurassic World figures. Like, why don't we have a Claire in white? Like, I'm honestly very surprised. Like, it was almost something I didn't really think about until right now. But it's like, yeah, that's very interesting that they haven't really approached that. Like, why don't we have a Zach and Gray figure? Like, why don't we have why don't we have a Judy Greer picture? That's the set I want. Judy Greer in the office, boardroom with the guy knocking on the. Why don't we have Papa John or whatever his name is? At the helicopter set. Like,
seriously,
why don't we have a Lauren Lapkus and Jake Johnson like at a command console? What the heck? Wait, like that's so interesting. Why don't we?
We don't have like the white outfit Claire. Like why do we not have this stuff? The fact like they are so obsessed. Like Universal is so obsessed with that time frame, right? From pre-breakout to breakout or whatever. Like everything they make, live tour, the exhibition, the rides, like they're all Camp Cretaceous. They're all centered around this one moment in time, but they refuse to make these toys. Like they will not make these toys.
You know what it is? And again, not to call you out, Tom, but they're going to wait till Tom's 30 and then they're going to do that. Because you know what I mean? It's like, we're in our mid 30s now and it's just like, all right, like, they're spoon feeding us JP93. We're getting like an Explorer that's a reference to an unreleased vehicle from Wave 2. Like, they're really milking us for all we got in that sense, as far as nostalgia goes and those kind of Easter eggs and stuff, which I mean are incredible. Like if we get a Chaos Effect toy line, at some point, like Chaos Effect 2024, for the 30th anniversary of Lost World. Do you know what I mean? Like if we were to get a Chaos Effect toy line or something. But I think, as far as nostalgia goes, obviously Jurassic World is Jurassic World's going to be 10 in 2 years. That's insane. But like, that's insane. Oh God. I've been trying to keep my cool about more mortality, but I just had a moment. Yeah. Oh no.
You can see it flash before your eyes. You're like, wait.
I know.
What? Well,
because I went to a Jurassic World 5. It was a Battle at Big Rock, Jurassic World 5-year anniversary screening. I went with Courtney James Clark, who was the Mosasaur announcer, and a few other friends were there. And it was a Collider event. Perry was there. That was where Colin announced that Laura Dern, that all the original cast were going to come back. And that was the 5-year anniversary of Jurassic World. And it's interesting because obviously we're kind of soaked in like Jurassic Park anniversary business, for the last 5 years. But it's going to be interesting when they're going to do like Jurassic World 10-year anniversary screenings, and I think that's when the nostalgia hits. And I think, again, like we want that Claire figure. We want I guess we've gotten the Raptor Squad sort of.
Well, I mean, now's the time to redo because now we're on Hammond collection, so like we got to get all those Hammond collection versions, and I guess maybe the core like regular, even though they're like just slightly different, but like I think you're right because like I've been wondering when they're gonna come and realizing now that like it's only 2 years away. That's probably the right call. Is like, let's just do the Lost World is this year for some reason, even though it's the 30th anniversary of Jurassic, and it's like maybe we'll do some sprinkle in JP3 next year, and then 20 then we're at that's the year. So then they'll just go with the Jurassic World stuff. So I think you might be onto something. Like
Ooh.
that's gonna be
Okay,
mind blowing. I
what?
was thinking about it the other day. Like I was like, can we kind of be done with the anniversaries? Because I'm like kind of anniversaried out right now. We've gotten the 30th, we had the 25th, we had the 20th, we had 20, whatever. There's just so many anniversaries. I think Lost World,
Yeah.
JP3, like there's so many right now. It just feels like they all have an anniversary, and we can't possibly celebrate all of them. But when you do
Well, that's
talk
like
about 10 years for Jurassic World, it's like, well, all right, here we go again. You gotta do it.
I mean that's like the thing where like every day is a holiday on social media. Like every day is like a this day, and it's
Yeah.
just like I just want to just let me live. Like because then you're just like, oh, I'm a bad person if I don't post my sister on sibling day, or if I don't post
Oh,
like how many cat days are there? Like every day is cat day with this little jerk.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and
but like
there's so many dinosaur days, it feels like. I'm like, well, which one is it? Is it,
yeah.
when?
Here, oh, you know what? Let's do some predictions. I'm gonna call it. So let's say there's three Jurassic World Comic-Cons figures. Yeah, Jurassic World Comic-Con figures. We're gonna get Eric Edelstein and
Ooh.
the truck and the
Ooh.
Indominus. I think that's gonna be
Oh.
a set.
That
That
would
feels
be a
like a
fantastic
Comic-Con
set.
like, and then you could get Eric Edelstein being like, ugh,
Yeah.
I think that's going to be one of them. I feel like the Jake Johnson and Lauren Lapkus, I feel like that would just be a regular set. I don't think that would be
That'd be a
Comic-Con
Beyond the
exclusive.
Gates. Like,
Yeah. You know what? I think for Comic-Con, a Zach and Gray in the Jeep.
okay.
I think that could be one.
I'm thinking
Or-
Mizrahi helicopter with like two mercenary guys, like with the
And a
machine
Pteranodon.
gun thing, and pteranodons, yeah, dimorphodons, everything, yeah, that would be fantastic.
I think that let's call it. Those are the 3 ones. I mean, unless they're throwing in Papa John, like with Papa John in there too.
I love it. For this entire series, like trilogy, I've been wondering like who's connected to who, how do they all relate? Is he gonna be somebody bigger than he is? Like, but no, just like they're just like who they are.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, I think if this was made a Comic-Con figure, I think it would like bring up all the controversy again. But I would kill for a Katie McGrath figure.
Oh, I did think that before when you were talking about it. I was like, that would be interesting.
I think if they made it Comic-Con, I think it would like draw too much attention. I think they would rather just release her as a figure,
Yeah, honestly, how have we not gotten what is the statue company? Like one of the statue companies that make the high-end $1,000 models, that like I want to see like the water, the mosasaur coming out of the water, her in the mouth of the mosasaur, but also dangling from a pteranodon. Like imagine that set; it would be like this tall.
Oh, I would love that. Well, I had an ex who for Halloween one year dressed up as, I haven't seen the birds, but the woman from the birds, and had the pipe cleaner with all the crows like attached, like these kind of like styrofoam crows. So it looked like the birds like all attacking her hair and stuff. And I really think that would be a great costume, would be, what's her character's name again? I just call her Katie McGrath. Wait, what's her name again? British woman.
It's been too long, man. It's almost 10 years. I can't.
Let's see. Hold on.
Everybody's
Filmography. Zara Young.
Oh, yeah.
What great Halloween costume would be a play on that idea, where I take like the the mini figures, the blind figures, put them on pipe cleaners like
there you go.
all around you. Then you're dressed up as Zara. And then I've seen online there's like shark sleeping bags, so it looks like a shark is eating you.
Yeah.
But you could kind of like, you could kind of, just like touch it up or just change it slightly to look like the mosasaur. So it's
That'd be
like,
perfect.
you've got the mosasaur swallowing you up like this, and then you have the pteranodons flying above your head, and you're kind of wearing that like smart white jacket with like the purple and the black pants.
Well,
like I think that would be a really cool costume.
have they not made like one of those like blow up costumes? Like that would be so awesome to have, like, because they make like the ones where your upper body is out and it looks like you're riding
Yes,
a
yes.
dinosaur. But like, why not have the mosasaur just like down below and just the jaws like out this way? Like that would be so sick. Oh man,
I would love that.
Make that, whatever company makes those.
Again, we're going back in the cycle of like what if, and
we're giving them ideas. Stop giving them ideas. They come to us. We got the ideas.
I love it.
That's the thing. We could do this for hours. I don't know how long you want to continue talking about Jurassic.
I mean,
we
I
keep
think
going
I have
for the 10 years.
I'm pretty. Yeah, we're just gonna go until the 10th anniversary. I'm pretty hungry right now, but I might have to take off in a minute. But I mean, this has been so much fun, Brad. This has been, again, it's like that thing of like, I think whenever, especially like if because we all try to be devoted to the things that we love, but at the same time life takes over, which has kind of been for me my journey in the last like year and a half, where I kind of just had to let life take over a little bit. Obviously I still did get to celebrate Jurassic in a lot of ways, but at the same time I'm like, try not to beat myself up too much about it, because ultimately like we're sitting here on the other side of Dominion, the other side of JP30. Who knows what the franchise looks like? I mean, we haven't even started speculating about what the next.
Oh no, you can't do that.
Look on Brad's face right now. But we need a break from that for a minute. I'm happy to let it rest, and then we can all get ideas about what's next. But like it's that thing of like, I don't know. I probably talked about Jurassic Park more in the last like week than I have in the last 4 months, so it's never gonna. I said that recently when I saw Jurassic Park in theaters again, and I wrote a post about it. But like, ultimately, no matter what happens in life, Jurassic Park is always going to be like a home for me. Like, it's never going to change. Only my relationship to that movie, and so I'm just very grateful for that. So I'm not really worried about whatever comes next at this point. I'm just kind of like, I'm here. Like I'm surrounded by toys. Like I have plenty to do.
Yeah. I'm in that same boat. It's and that's why I just wanted to talk about like the fun stuff, the good stuff, the positive stuff.
Yeah.
Just because like, and that's easy for us. Like we could just
get
on that. We literally didn't talk about anything like that. Like, about what we were going to talk about. We just started talking. And it could continue on for more hours, I'm sure, but like that's why I like bringing you out here, talk about some of those positive things and get back to like the basics, the fun of it, and just think about like all those good moments that we've had over the past few years, and thinking about stuff like that, because we don't know what the future is. We don't know all so much of that, and we can speculate for hours, but I kind of like just reminiscing and thinking about like just being a kid again, and like what this all means, like, and why we're here doing this. And like I was saying it the other day, like I forget where, but like I talked about like how I had a project in third grade. Like I think I was talking because my nephew's in third grade now. I was like, I remember third grade. I was like, I brought my boombox to school with the Jurassic Park CD inside, and gave a presentation about Jurassic Park. So I did a podcast back in 1993. I pressed play, the music played behind me, and I just talked about Jurassic Park. And I was like, that's, so nothing's changed. And I like to kind of like think about that. And recently I've been, actually back in June, like I just went back to 1993 a lot. I referenced home videos, pictures, things that brought me back to what it was like to the place where it all began, to like think about how much I loved, this series and that movie specifically. So it's been really fun, I think, like looking back and kind of like getting back to the basics of everything. So yeah, I appreciate you doing that with me tonight.
No, this is something I definitely needed, and it's been so great catching up. And because I've kind of basically taken a hiatus from my podcast for I think I recorded a review of 65, and I was just like, I didn't even like this movie. Like, I hated that movie so much, and I wanted to really like it, but I just was like, this is not even a dinosaur movie. Like, oh, whatever. I'm not even gonna get into it because we're here for positivity. But like,
I never even got a chance to see it. So,
but I mean, there's a lot of interesting things. I'll eventually put that episode up. But I just think it's like, for me, I think I'm like you, where I think it's just helpful to reconnect with why you like things to motivate you to move forward. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, you got anything you want to plug or talk about, or where can people find you in this social media turmoil age?
Yeah, I know, right?
What it is. What are you on?
I'm at I'm at Stephen Ray Morris on anything. So I guess if you search it and you don't find me, then I'm not on that platform. But at Stephen Ray Morris with a V, RayMorris. And yeah, I mean, SJR is coming. I mean, there's plenty of great episodes in the vault. But yeah, I'm relaunching pretty soon. I'm very excited. A lot of good stuff. I mean, I'm just sitting on a lot of gold that I just haven't had the motivation to do, but I'm motivated now because I feel like I have a clear idea of what I want to do with the show.
Good.
Again, reconnecting with the roots. Like, I think about the first year of that show and how much fun it was just getting to talk to everybody in a way that was just like, oh my God, like, can you believe that we all love this thing? And so I'm trying to get back to that a little bit. So
yeah, I feel like we all isolated ourselves for a while, forgot what it was like about to discuss and have fun, and now we're getting back to. I'm excited to hear what you got because I always like listening. So I'll be there. But thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
We'll see you. We'll talk next time. We'll talk soon again.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. We'll hold on to those butts.
Yeah, doing it right now. Let's do it. Yeah, but yeah.